Tiffany Ariana Trump. The name itself, a carefully chosen label, a whisper of luxury and aspiration, echoing the renowned jewelry company whose flagship store stood adjacent to her father's iconic tower. Born into a world already saturated with her father's larger-than-life persona, Tiffany's narrative would unfold not as a mere extension of the Trump brand, but as a unique journey. A story less about the expected trajectory of a political dynasty and more about a young woman forging her own path, sometimes bathed in the intense glare of the spotlight, but often, just as profoundly, in the quietude of the shadows. This is the expansive, intricate tapestry of Tiffany's life, a tale woven with threads of ambition, family, public scrutiny, and personal discovery, designed to captivate a modern audience with its depth and unexpected turns. The genesis of Tiffany's story began on October 13, 1993, in the vibrant, sun-drenched climes of West Palm Beach, Florida. She was the sole, precious child of Donald Trump's second marriage to the vivacious actress and television personality, Marla Maples. Their union was a whirlwind, a romance that had captivated tabloids and society pages alike, culminating in a grand, highly publicized New York City wedding at the Plaza Hotel in December 1993, just 2 months after Tiffany's arrival. This opulent ceremony, attended by 1,000 guests and swarmed by paparazzi, was as much a media spectacle as it was a personal commitment, a grand public statement of their union. Yet despite the dazzling start, this high-profile marriage was not destined for longevity, ultimately dissolving just shy of 6 years later, in 1999, after a 2-year separation. In the wake of this highly publicized divorce, a distinctly different life took shape for young Tiffany, one that would dramatically diverge from the upbringing of her elder half-siblings. While Ivanka, Donald Jr., and Eric were deeply immersed in the bustling, cutthroat energy of New York City and the burgeoning, ever-expanding Trump organization, Tiffany's formative years were spent under the gentle, warm embrace of the California sun. Her mother, Marla Maples, made a deliberate, conscious decision to raise her away from the relentless intensity of the East Coast media scrutiny. They settled in Calabasas, a serene, picturesque enclave nestled near Los Angeles, offering a stark contrast to the concrete jungle of Manhattan. Here, Marla, embracing her role as a single mother, dedicated herself wholeheartedly to nurturing Tiffany in a more grounded, ostensibly normal environment. Marla hoped that by living across the country from her famous ex-husband, Tiffany would not have to live perpetually in her father's towering shadow. This geographical and lifestyle divergence proved pivotal, setting Tiffany apart from her elder siblings and shaping a unique, more private, early life experience. Marla consciously strove to provide Tiffany with an upbringing reminiscent of her own childhood in rural Georgia, complete with home-cooked meals and a spacious backyard, emphasizing good values and a sense of normalcy. Tiffany herself has expressed profound gratitude for this upbringing, recalling her mother's efforts to move them out of New York to get out of the spotlight and let me grow up and find my own identity, versus being in the shadow of a name or growing up very young with all that pressure. She described their time together as filled with activities like playing tennis, cooking, and even humanitarian trips to places like Malawi. Despite the considerable distance and the divergent paths, the bond with her father, Donald Trump, remained an undeniable thread in the fabric of Tiffany's life. Regular visits to New York City punctuated her calendar, offering fascinating glimpses into the world of Trump Tower, the glittering high-rises, and the relentlessly fast-paced life her father led. These visits were crucial, albeit infrequent, opportunities to connect with her paternal lineage. Summers were often spent at the sprawling, opulent Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, a lavish playground that offered both familial connection and a taste of the extraordinary, the gilded cage of ultimate luxury. While the relationship at times faced the inherent strains of distance and public life, with some sources even suggesting it was strained at times due to her relative independence from the broader Trump family spotlight, Tiffany consistently maintained an emotional connection. She was also intricately connected to a broader, albeit complex family tapestry, including her younger half-brother Barron, born to her father's third wife Melania, further expanding the intricate web of relationships that defined her unique position within the famous family. Her educational journey began in earnest at Viewpoint School in Calabasas, a foundational period that laid the groundwork for her ambitious academic pursuits. She immersed herself in typical high school activities, playing volleyball and basketball, and developing a passion for art. In 2012, Tiffany transitioned seamlessly from the Californian sun-drenched playgrounds to the historic ivy-clad halls of the University of Pennsylvania. This prestigious institution held particular significance, as it was also an alma mater to her father and several of her older half-siblings, solidifying a familial connection to elite academia. At UPenn, she delved deep into the intricacies of sociology and urban studies, choosing academic fields that offered a broader, more nuanced understanding of societal structures, human behavior, and the complex dynamics of urban life. This choice indicated an intellectual curiosity that extended beyond the immediate world of business and real estate her family was known for. Her collegiate experience wasn't solely academic. She embraced the vibrant social fabric of university life with enthusiasm. Tiffany became a proud member of the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority, an active participant in Greek life, forging enduring friendships and engaging in the typical collegiate experiences that many young adults cherish: study groups, social events, and the shared journey of self-discovery away from home. Despite her famous surname, students who attended alongside her reported that Tiffany had a relatively normal experience at UPenn, even living in an off-campus apartment in Washington, presumably referring to Washington, D.C., implying a period where she might have split time or moved, though primary reports focus on her Philadelphia experience for undergrad, albeit with the discreet presence of Secret Service. Graduating in May 2016, she emerged from her undergraduate studies with a solid academic foundation, a broadened worldview, and a blossoming sense of her own independent identity, ready for the next chapter. But Tiffany's ambitions extended significantly beyond her undergraduate degree. A keen intellectual interest in the field of law began to emerge, prompting her to embark on the rigorous and demanding journey of preparing for the LSAT, the standardized test required for law school admission. In August 2016, she offered a public glimpse into her dedication, posting an image on Instagram of her diligently arrayed LSAT prep books, signaling her serious intent. By December of that year, she sat for the demanding exam, a critical step toward realizing her burgeoning legal aspirations. Her exploration of law schools was thorough and discerning, leading her to visit some of the nation's most esteemed institutions: the venerable Columbia University, the hallowed halls of Harvard Law, and the urban intellectual hub of New York University. Ultimately, after careful consideration, she made the significant decision to matriculate at Georgetown Law School in Washington, D.C. This choice not only aligned with her legal ambitions, but also connected her further to her family's academic legacy, as her half-brother Eric had also earned his bachelor's degree from Georgetown University in 2006. While the White House at the time refrained from commenting on her interest in a legal career, her path was clear. The culmination of her arduous legal studies arrived in May 2020, amidst the unprecedented backdrop of a global pandemic. Tiffany proudly earned her Juris Doctor JD degree from Georgetown Law, a significant personal and academic triumph. Her father, then the sitting president of the United States, marked the momentous occasion with a public commendation, tweeting, "Just what I need is a lawyer in the family. Proud of you, Tiff." This tweet, while lighthearted in tone, underscored his pride and the family's growing legal representation. This moment was not just a personal triumph for Tiffany, but also a subtle yet significant nod to her family's deeper connection to the legal field. Her aunt, Marianne Trump Barry, had served with distinction as a respected federal judge for over 3 decades. Tiffany was, in essence, stepping into a lineage of legal acumen, proving that while she carried a famous name, her intellectual pursuits and professional aspirations were uniquely her own, demonstrating a commitment to a demanding intellectual profession. Beyond her formidable academic pursuits, Tiffany had, even during her college years, bravely explored other creative avenues, showcasing a multifaceted personality that defied easy categorization. In 2014, while still diligently pursuing her undergraduate degree at the University of Pennsylvania, she ventured boldly into the dynamic world of music, releasing a single titled "Like a Bird." This wasn't her absolute first foray into the music scene. As a teenager, even before her college years, she had also collaborated with artists like Sprite and Logic on the very same track in 2011. The song, an electro-pop offering, demonstrated her willingness to experiment and express herself through a different medium. While her musical career didn't fully take flight into mainstream success, it certainly showcased a multifaceted personality, a young woman willing to put herself out there creatively and express herself through different artistic channels. It was a tangible example of her diverse interests beyond the expected political or business spheres. Her public profile also expanded significantly through other ventures, particularly within the glamorous, competitive world of fashion. She gained invaluable, demanding experience by undertaking a coveted internship at Vogue magazine, a dream position for many aspiring fashion professionals. This offered her a privileged, behind-the-scenes peek into the inner workings of one of the industry's most influential publications. Furthermore, she also dabbled in modeling, confidently gracing the runway for designer Andrew Warren during New York Fashion Week, further cementing her presence in the exclusive social and creative spheres of the city. These forays into fashion and music painted a picture of a young woman actively exploring her interests, trying on different identities, and engaging with the cultural landscape in her own right, separate from her family's political or business endeavors. However, it was arguably her burgeoning presence on the burgeoning platform of the internet, specifically Instagram, that truly propelled her into the public consciousness during her early 20s. By 2016, she had amassed an impressive following of over 460,000 followers on Instagram, a significant digital footprint that reflected her growing influence as an internet celebrity and socialite. Her feed was a carefully curated window into her seemingly glamorous social life, featuring candid snapshots of her enjoying leisure time with a glittering, exclusive circle of friends. This group was notable for including individuals with similarly prominent, often famous, lineage, such as Kira Kennedy, daughter of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Gaia Matisse, great-granddaughter of the renowned French artist Henri Matisse, and E.J. Johnson, the flamboyant and charismatic son of basketball legend Magic Johnson. This coterie of friends, with their seemingly effortless access to wealth, privilege, and exclusive social events quickly caught the attention of major publications. The New York Post, the New York Times, and New York Magazine all highlighted this captivating group, collectively dubbing them the rich kids of Instagram. This label, while attention-grabbing, both defined and perhaps somewhat oversimplified their lives, packaging them into a neat marketable concept for public consumption. Tiffany's online presence offered a relatable, if aspirational, glimpse into the lives of a younger, affluent generation, navigating their privileged worlds with a veneer of accessible glamour. As her father's political ambitions unexpectedly soared, culminating in his historic presidential campaign, Tiffany found herself increasingly drawn into a new, complex, and often unpredictable arena: politics. She publicly registered to vote in Pennsylvania as a Republican, aligning herself with the political party her father sought to lead and, ultimately, transform. During the intense and often polarizing 2016 U.S. presidential election, she actively participated in her father's campaign, joining her family on the rigorous, demanding trail of rallies and events. A pivotal defining moment came when she delivered a speech at the 2016 Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio. This significant public address was her official political debut on a national stage, showcasing her burgeoning political engagement and unwavering support for her father's candidacy. Despite admitting to being a little new to the convention scene, she spoke confidently, sharing anecdotes about her father's encouraging nature and his work ethic, attempting to humanize his public image. After his stunning election victory, she occasionally joined her family at official public events, becoming a familiar, if somewhat less frequent face at White House traditions, like the annual Easter egg roll and the traditional Thanksgiving turkey pardon, further integrating her into the official landscape of her father's transformative presidency. She also continued to campaign for him in the 2020 election, appearing at various in-person events. In the intricate tapestry of Tiffany Trump's public and private life, her romantic relationships have always garnered significant attention, reflecting not only personal connections, but also the complex intersections of family legacy, political alignments, and social circles. These chapters in her life offer a fascinating glimpse into the choices she's made and the evolving dynamics of her identity. Before embarking on her marital journey, Tiffany navigated a meaningful 2-year relationship with Ross Mechanic. Their story began within the esteemed academic environment of the University of Pennsylvania, where they were both undergraduate students. Their connection blossomed organically amidst campus life, shared classes, and the general camaraderie of college years. What made their relationship particularly noteworthy to the public and media was the intriguing juxtaposition of their political leanings, especially as Tiffany's father ascended to the highest office. Ross Mechanic was a registered Democrat and notably an open and vocal supporter of Hillary Clinton during the fervent 2016 presidential election cycle. This stark political divergence from the Trump family's Republican stronghold illustrated a compelling point that personal connections, particularly amongst a younger generation, could, at times, transcend deep political divides and ideological allegiances. It suggested a capacity for nuanced relationships even within a highly polarized political landscape. Adding another subtle layer of complexity and interconnectedness to their dynamic, Ross Mechanic even interned at Cadre, a real estate technology startup based in New York City. This firm held a direct link to Tiffany's extended family. It was co-founded by Jared Kushner, her half-sister Ivanka's husband. This proximity within the broader Trump orbit though seemingly a professional rather than personal link for Ross, suggested a deeper, albeit indirect, integration into the family's professional network. It hinted at a world where personal and professional circles often overlapped, even for those seemingly outside the immediate political spotlight. Despite the apparent closeness and duration of their relationship, which saw them attending various events, including Tiffany's graduation, and reportedly spending time with each other's families, with Tiffany and her mother even reportedly spending a summer at the mechanic's Hampton's house. Their romance ultimately concluded in the fall of 2017. This timing coincided precisely with Tiffany's significant life transition. As she prepared to begin law school in Washington, D.C., reports from sources close to the couple at the time suggested that the immense stress and logistical challenges associated with this major move, transitioning from New York to a new city, embarking on the rigorous demands of law school, and navigating her public profile, played a significant role in contributing to their amicable split. It highlighted the very real pressures that come with a life lived in the public eye, where even personal decisions are subjected to external forces and intense scrutiny. A new exhilarating chapter in Tiffany's romantic life commenced in 2018, marked by a serendipitous encounter that would reshape her future. While vacationing in the glamorous, sun-drenched Greek island of Mykonos, she met Michael Boulos at a club, reportedly Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club, which was then a hotspot for global socialites. Their connection was immediate and profound, setting the stage for a whirlwind romance that spanned continents. Michael Boulos, like Tiffany, hailed from an equally prominent and influential background, though from a vastly different corner of the globe. He is the distinguished son of Masad Boulos, a wealthy and highly successful business magnate whose family runs a diversified conglomerate with deep roots in Lagos, Nigeria, but with Lebanese origins. The Boulos family's enterprise, SCOA Nigeria plc, is a major player in various sectors, including construction, automobile sales, and logistics across Africa, with a storied history dating back decades to a jewelry business founded by Michael's grandfather. Michael himself grew up primarily in Lagos, attending the prestigious American International School before pursuing higher education in London, where he earned degrees in global business management and project management, finance, and risk. Their burgeoning romance quickly blossomed, and Michael soon became a fixture in Tiffany's life, attending family events, including the Trump family's Thanksgiving dinner at Mar-a-Lago in 2018, where he was formally introduced to the clan. What added a fascinating layer to their union, particularly from a public and political perspective, was the intertwining of their families on both personal and political fronts. Michael's father, Masad Boulos, later served as a senior White House advisor during Donald Trump's subsequent term, a remarkable development that underscored the deep interconnectedness of their worlds. Masad Boulos, a Lebanese-American businessman with extensive international experience, was appointed as a senior advisor for Africa within the State Department and earlier as an advisor on Arab and Middle Eastern affairs, further cementing the familial ties to the highest echelons of American politics. This familial connection added an unexpected dimension to Tiffany and Michael's relationship, placing it squarely within the narrative of global influence and interwoven destinies. The pinnacle of their romance arrived in a significant public announcement when Tiffany revealed their engagement in January 2021. The timing of this joyous declaration was particularly poignant. It occurred on the very last day of her father's first presidential term, just hours before he left the White House. The proposal itself, as later revealed by Tiffany, took place in the iconic White House Rose Garden, a historically significant location that added a unique and memorable backdrop to their commitment. This timing on the cusp of a new chapter for her family, both politically, as her father transitioned out of the presidency, and personally, as she prepared for marriage, added a distinct layer of personal and symbolic significance to the public declaration. It was a moment of personal joy amidst a period of considerable political transition and uncertainty for the Trump family. Tiffany and Michael Boulos officially exchanged vows on November 11th, 2022, in a truly lavish and picturesque ceremony held at her father's opulent Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. This choice of venue held deep personal meaning for Tiffany. As her mother, Marla Maples, eloquently explained, this was Tiffany's childhood home and where she was brought into the world, underscoring the sentimental value of the estate. The wedding itself was a grand affair, overseen by renowned international event planner Tony Bryce, and featured exquisite details. Tiffany walked down the aisle in a custom, exquisitely beaded gown designed by celebrated Lebanese fashion designer Elie Saab, a deliberate and beautiful homage to her groom's Lebanese heritage. The ceremony, attended by approximately 250 guests, including close family and friends, took place just days after Tropical Storm Nicole had passed through Florida, adding a touch of drama to the preparations. Guests were treated to an evening of elegance and celebration, with over-the-top centerpieces brimming with vibrant pink and purple roses and blue hydrangeas, and an 8-tier wedding cake adorned with white flowers, a sweet nod to the cake from her parents' 1993 nuptials. The reception also included a unique performance by masked dancers and the couple's first dance to Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love. For the father-daughter dance, Tiffany and her father swayed to the Beatles' Here Comes the Sun, a seemingly apt choice given the storm that had just passed and the bright new beginning. The event was a testament to the couple's desire for a truly memorable celebration, steeped in personal meaning and family tradition. The most recent and perhaps most heartwarming chapter in their intertwined lives arrived in May 2025, when Tiffany and Michael welcomed their first child, a cherished son named Alexander Trump Boulos. The news of the pregnancy had been initially confirmed by Donald Trump himself in October 2024, during a public appearance, before Tiffany later shared her own excitement. Her half-sister Ivanka Trump even hosted a beautiful Peter Rabbit-themed baby shower in Miami in April 2025, bringing together family and friends to celebrate the impending arrival. Alexander's birth, announced by his proud parents on social media on May 15, 2025, marked a profound new milestone for Tiffany. This addition to the family further solidified Tiffany's narrative as a young woman who, despite her famous lineage, the relentless scrutiny of the public eye, and the unique challenges inherent in her upbringing, has successfully carved out a life that beautifully blends academic achievement, personal passions, enduring family connections, and now, the profound joys and responsibilities of motherhood. Alexander Trump Boulos represents not just a new generation, but also a continuation of a story that is still unfolding with grace, quiet determination, and an evolving sense of self. Her story continues to be a unique blend of inherited legacy, personal ambition, and a self-determined destiny, proving that even within the most public of families, individual paths can be forged with authenticity and purpose, embracing both the spotlight and the moments of profound personal joy. And that's all for today's video. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, let us know your thoughts in the comments section, and subscribe so you won't miss out on future uploads. See you next time.